Hello and welcome along people to another one of my videos. If you've had issues with the BMW NAV 6, please stick around and stay tuned until after the intros. For some time now, BMW and Garmin have known there's been an issue with the BMW NAV 6. Ghosting issues. Now there's an awful lot of stuff out there on various different forums of how you can fix the issue. A lot of people think you can clean the face, the front, this part here, and it's just dirt or build up. I was one of those who thought that was a thing. It's not. The issue is inside, it's internal. So as I understand, the issue is between the outside plastic that you can hear me touch, and just inside of that there is gel. As most of us leave our sat-navs on our bikes, even when we're not navigating, the gel depletes. And when the gel depletes, you get a ghosting issue. Okay, and that's where the problems start, and it makes your sat-nav almost unusable. In fact, mine got to the point where I couldn't navigate at all. It really was useless. So I wondered what my options were, and if you're wondering what your options are, please do stay tuned. I will get to the point. I have 4 options for you, and hopefully it will all become clear. Option 1. Option 1 is quite straightforward. If you've bought a BMW NAV 6 from BMW within 2 years, you can bring it back to them and they'll give you a new one. Simple. But I hear you say you've had it a little bit longer than 2 years. So let's say it's within a 3-year window. So now you're 1 year outside of your 2-year warranty. Bring it back to BMW and the chances are they will still give you a new NAV 6. Now, outside of the 2 years, they're not obliged to give you a new NAV, but I have it on good authority from my local dealer that they still will honour it and will still give you a new NAV 6. It is down to their discretion if they're going to give you a new NAV 6 or not. So don't go charging in there and say, but I'm entitled to. You're not. In the 2-year window, you are. Outside of the 2-year window, you're not. It's down to their discretion. Okay? So that's option 1. Option 2. Option 2 is send it for repair. Garmin have a repair centre in Southampton, UK. It was something that I was made aware of whilst I was having issues, and it will all become clear a little bit later on in the video. Anyway, Garmin have a repair centre in Southampton, and they will repair your BMW NAV 6 because at the end of the day it is a Garmin item marked up as BMW. They know there's an issue, BMW know there's an issue, therefore they will repair it. I think the last time I heard it was about £90 for the repair at Garmin. So that's option 2. Option 3 as a curveball, and this is something I learned from a guy called Mark. Thanks ever so much, Mark. So this is your NAV 6 and it's clearly having an issue. It's having a brain fart, it's ghosting, it's doing all the things you don't want a sat-nav to do. So what should you do? If you're about to go on holidays and you haven't got time to get it repaired, you haven't got the money to replace your NAV 6, what will you do? This is what Mark told me. Put a Garmin 660 in its place. Garmin 660? That's the old one. But I'll have to take the mount off of my handlebars and put a different mount on and wire it into my new BMW wiring system. Kind of, Mark, what? It fits. onto the existing NAV6 mount. No issues with the wiring. It will charge it whilst you're running along. No problems at all. The only thing is with the Garmin 660, you can't use the whiz wheel, which I don't use anyway for the sat nav. And I don't Bluetooth from the unit ever. Did, but don't anymore. I don't Bluetooth from the unit to my helmet. So I don't know if that's an issue with the 660, but you can use the 660 in place of the NAV6. So that's option number 3. Option number 4. Option number 4 is send it to the GPS station, Hanover, Germany. Now, I was obviously having issues with this sat nav, and I went on to Google and I found some guys on YouTube, I guess a bit like you guys have found my YouTube channel. So in good faith, I followed their directions, and I think they made their video, like I am, in good faith. So I've got no issue with the other YouTube channel that made their video. Very entertaining, very informative, not misleading. They said, send your sat nav off to the GPS station in Hanover. Takes about 20 days, and they will replace the gel part at the back of the sat nav, and it will work as good as, if not better than, before. So I thought, brilliant. Went on to Google, found the GPS station, followed their instructions to the letter, literally put it into a box. They print off a receipt, put the receipt into the box so they know whose GPS is who, and then send it off to them in Hanover and sit back and wait for 20 days. No. So it cost me €200 up front, which I was slightly nervous about paying up front, but it cost me €200 up front. I will convert that. I packaged it off as directed, and that was all of the import-export paperwork that needs to be filled out to send it to Europe, because we're no longer in the EU, blah blah blah. Fine. I waited 25 days, and I've got a trip kind of getting closer and closer and closer. And in the meantime, I've learned all of the things I've just spoken about, and I couldn't honestly get any communication to the GPS station in Germany at all. I sent them a lot of emails. I was told effectively I would have to wait. I thought maybe it's a language barrier. So I contacted a friend of mine in Germany who clearly speaks German, and he spoke to them. They told him I would have to wait an additional 10 days. Okay, so I waited my additional 10 days, and then I started to rattle the cage again. They asked me for a shipping reference number. First time they'd asked me for that. We found the shipping reference number, and they said customs still had my sat-nav. First time it was mentioned in all of that time. So I think we were up to about nearly 30 days that the sat-nav had been away, and that was the first time they mentioned it. But they said that customs still had my sat-nav. It's like, wow, okay. So their reference number meant nothing to them, or the shipping number meant everything to them, which I found slightly bizarre. Anyhow, I got another friend of mine who speaks German to try and contact them by phone and by email. All correspondence from him was done in German, and they never replied to him at all. So he could have been a customer, but they didn't reply to him. Eventually, I did obviously get my NAV6 back. 48 days. 48 days after the NAV6 went to Hanover for holiday. They say on their website it'll be 20 days. I guess you could call it a loophole or whatever. If they haven't physically got it, then they haven't got it for 20 days. I can't prove that they did or didn't have it. But my sat-nav was away 48 days. When I got my NAV 6 back, it does work. It is very responsive. It works just fine. I've had no issues with it at all. 200 euros, I think, for the service was a little bit steep. But it came back in the same box with no information as to what had been done at all. And they put in an additional box of Tic Tacs. Yeah, your guess is as good as mine. That's it, basically. Hopefully you have found that mildly entertaining and somewhat informative. I know that some of you guys out there, you will find all of the options that you already knew them. I'm just trying to compile all of the things that I've learnt into one video, into one place, and hopefully someone else won't make the same mistakes that I did. If there is any other options, if there's anything else that I've missed out in this video, please do leave a comment in the comment section below and let people know. Then that way other people will learn from my mistakes and your wisdom. Hopefully you've enjoyed that one. If you have, please leave a thumbs up. If you haven't enjoyed the video for any particular reason whatsoever, please feel free to leave a thumbs down. Don't forget to leave a comment in the comment section below. Ding dong the notification bell, and that way I shall see you in the next one. Thanks ever so much for watching as always. Until next time, people, look after yourself. Bye bye.